She's a miracle. She got everybody talking. She don't care at all. Watch the way she's walking. Ooh.
Hey, I'm Rosemary Butterly. I play the clarinet here at Susquehanna University, and I'm a music ed major. I am super psyched to be here and to let you know a little bit more about me.
It's turning loose.
In the 4th grade, I started playing the recorder like most other kids, but unlike most other kids, I was in a special recorder group that would meet before school every Tuesday and Thursday, and we would have our own recitals aside from the regular student population. I really loved this, not only because I liked playing music, but because I could then say and brag over my friends that I was in this special recorder group. But then I realized many years later that this recorder group actually caused me to play the clarinet, not only decide for me to choose the clarinet, but it also allowed me to play music really well in comparison to others. The reason for this was because my recorder teacher actually played the oboe, and I really wanted to play the oboe as well because I heard her play it and I thought it was awesome. But the problem was my school was not offering the oboe that year, so I chose the next closest thing, which was the clarinet. And I am so glad I had to do that because I love the clarinet. And also because of recorder ensemble, I could read music really well. Unlike the other kids who were not only learning how to play the clarinet and how to read music, I could already read music, so learning the clarinet was very easy for me. So then it made it easier for me to like playing the clarinet.
My girl's a supersonic sex machine.
When I entered high school, one really new musical thing for me was marching band. The middle school and elementary schools didn't have a marching band, so this was my very first experience with it. For the first rehearsal, I was so excited to go, and then after the first rehearsal, I never wanted to show up again. But it did result in some very cool experiences for me. I always had friends to sit with at the football games, and I also got to participate in some parades, including the New York City St. Patrick's Day Parade. All 4 years of high school, I got to be on television and play for almost the entire New England area. And that was a very cool experience. Although there were some years where it snowed and my instrument froze, it was still a really great thing to talk about later and put on my college app, so I was glad I had that experience. Other than music itself, the best thing that came out of band was the friendships I made. My band director always said that band was like a family, and it definitely was for me. I got to meet so many great people, and I definitely miss them all from going to college, but band was definitely always the highlight of my day in high school.
The train is riding.
Although I didn't particularly love high school, one thing I really did love was prom. I just really loved being with my friends, having a great time, seeing everyone look so beautiful, and the event was just set up so well. I had a really awesome date, and it was just a great night.
Round this town of steel.
Another great high school experience was grad night. The first reason is I got to leave and never go back. The second reason is they had a party after we actually graduated where they had cotton candy and all these other really cool things. And it was a great last hurrah with my class, which was nice because a lot of them I wasn't going to be seeing again for a long time, other than my direct group of friends. Although my family is extraordinarily dramatic and we don't get along a lot of the times, they are definitely very important to me. One really interesting person to mention is my brother. Although we look very similar and we're only 18 months apart, we're completely different people. One story that illustrates my brother and I's differences very well was when we were both in a spring school together and he tried to escape. What happened was he noticed that there was a tool shed right next to the fence on the perimeter of playground, and he decided it would be a good idea to jump up onto that shed and then over the fence. But then the problem was he didn't know where to go after that, so he started yelling to the other kids through the fence to get help. And that's when I went to the teachers, who had no idea that this had happened, and effectively got him in trouble. Yeah, after that we weren't allowed back, but that's just a good example to show that I was definitely a rule follower, and he was definitely a troublemaker from the start. I'm really thankful that my brother and I are completely different people, because even though we got into many fights over our differences, we were able to eventually come to a compromise and get along with each other, which allowed me to realize that even if someone's completely different from you, you can still get along with them and you can still learn things from them. And my brother was the first person to teach me that, and that's why I'm really thankful for him. Along with that, he also always has my back and is never judgmental of me, and I always have appreciated him for that. On my mother's side of the family, I have 10 cousins that are all around the same age as me. I always thought that cousins were an awesome alternative to siblings because you got the same feeling of family and connection, but you didn't have to deal with them every single day of your life. One really cool thing that happened was that two of my cousins, Maggie and Megan, were born within a few months of me being the oldest. I got extremely close to my cousin Maggie. We got the opportunity to go to Arizona together in the 7th grade, and we took it, and we went with my grandma and my mom, and we had the best time ever. So we didn't only go back again, but we went back 4 times to this dude ranch where we got to ride horses. Another part of this dude ranch, which was really awesome, is that they brought in an exotic animal trainer, and we got to hold all of his cool pets. I got to hold a scorpion. I also got to hold a tarantula. And that was something really great because I love animals, even if they aren't actually animals and they're actually insects. And it was just great because I never would be able to do that in Connecticut. But in Arizona, at this dude ranch, I could.
Hello, it sure ain't goodbye.
Another super important thing to know about me is that I love horses. I've been riding horses since I was 8 years old. I got my first horse. His name was Nova when I was 10. What happened was my mother and I had been riding for 2 years at this point, and we wanted to get a horse of our own instead of using other people's. And we searched around for months, and towards the end of our search, we were finally about to give up, and we went to a rescue foundation in New York for retired racehorses, and we found this horse who was completely overweight and out of shape, but he was so sweet. He was really well trained, so we decided to take him home, and I've had him ever since. Nova is an awesome horse, and I don't know what I would do without him. What horseback riding taught me was not only how to ride a horse, but fundamental things that define my character now. One important thing that I learned was responsibility. Nobody's gonna take care of this horse except for me. And learning this at a young age was super important to who I am. Learning to be responsible allowed me to be independent as I got older, and this independence allowed me to become more of an individual and not rely on others as much. Another thing that horseback riding taught me was to never give up. If you fall off, you get back on right away, even if you broke your arm or something. If you lose a competition, that's fine, because you'll win the next one. This directly reflects my character now, because I'm definitely a fighter, and I refuse to give up on anything that I believe in, and I hate to lose a conversation or a discussion, because I just believe you should never back down if you truly want something. I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for watching my video and trying to get to know me a little bit better. I really appreciate it, and if you have any questions or you want to get to know me a little more, just come and talk to me.
I think it's special what's behind your back. Yeah. So turn around and I'll pick up the slack.